morning, everyone. Hello, Babel. You made it back just in time. Hello, Sarah. Hello, Bante. Hello, Heaven. Welcome in, everyone. I'm getting my coffee still, so don't mind me. As usual, I like to rep the canvas that I'm going to work with before stream starts, but I didn't have time to do that, so I'm gonna have to do some prepping to the layers and such. Coffee first. Are you okay? Oh, do I sound like death this morning? I'm okay. I've had kind of a rough 2 weeks where I just haven't been feeling very well. Uh, I think I'm on the tail end of it, but I've been feeling pretty out of it. But hopefully on the tail end. I've had I can't even use my word. uh, I've had really persistent headaches and just been feeling very out of it. I'm not sure. It feels like my body is deciding whether or not it's caught some sort of bug, and it's fighting really hard to not. But yeah, I don't know. I'm feeling. I know I don't sound better, but I am feeling better than I felt um, like earlier this week, for example. So I'd like to think I'm on the mend. I can't get this ice cube out. I'm not asking. Come on. There we go. I win. How are you all doing today? Now my headset's beeping at me. Oh god. Oh, okay, hold on. I have to plug my headset in. I thought I charged it. Are you sick? I don't know. I think I'm teetering on the edge of being sick. Because I have some symptoms of being sick, but not all of them. Like I'm very, what's it called? I have a lot of body ache, and I'm very exhausted, and I've had really persistent headaches, but I don't feel like sick to my stomach, or I don't have a cough or anything like that, so I don't know. We'll see. I'm sure coffee will fix me though, so sit tight. I'm just gonna pour that. Be right back. I say this, but you're coming with me because I haven't taken my headset off. Most importantly, I have now purchased the second fall flavored thing of the season, and that is a little carton of apple cider. So I'm very excited about that. Not having it right now, but I'll have some maybe later today. Does it feel like fall where you guys are yet? Because it doesn't here. I'm choosing to interpret it as fall, but it's definitely not. It's still like 90 degrees Fahrenheit here. Feel better soon. Thank you. I hope so. Alright, let me plug this headset in. There we go. Right. Squeaky chair. Okay. I completely forgot to test this before I went live. Oh my goodness. Okay. Let's see. I have to fix this. There we go. It's super autumnal where I am. Cold leaves turning orange and fall. Oh, I'm so envious. That's not fair. I don't have no leaves changing color yet. No cooler temperatures, and it's not fair. It's not fair. No rain. It's been raining here. Been raining for a week. I'm envious of that too. It's not fair. It's not fair, I tell ya. Cold for me as well. The leaves are still green though. Yep. The leaves are still green for me. It still gets very hot during the day. About 90 degrees Fahrenheit. I cannot convert that off the top of my head to Celsius, but right. Oh, I completely forgot to put this on Instagram. Whatever. I don't know where my phone is. I forgot I try to do a countdown on Instagram so people know ahead of time, but whoops. Also got to enjoy some Morris dancers yesterday as well. That's cool. Alright, let me look up some reference images. I thought I had some. Okay, here we go. This is the previous reference that I was thinking of. So I'm gonna take that one. That looks like a tropical climate, which is there we go. So what I want. Okay, where's my? Oh my goodness, I'm such a mess this morning. Where's my pen? Oh no, did I drop it? Goodness. Where is it? I have two Sharpies. My normal pen. Where's my tablet? Ah, there it is. Okay. It had slid under my monitorizer. It's my favorite drawing of Cyril in color. Thank you. I'm glad you like this one. I will let you know beforehand that because this is streaming on YouTube, I have had to censor some of the material. So you'll see that in a second. Purchase of the Texas most likely be for the Nutcracker. Yeah, my family used to like go see the Nutcracker in San Francisco every year as like our tradition. We haven't done that in a few years, but we used to do that. It's a very fond memory for me. All right. So I'm doing. The canvas hasn't moved because I've been doing some organizing, which is basically. Oh my goodness, I can speak. which is basically I'm moving layers around and making sure things are in the right files and so on. So should be about good to go. This is a little folder. Okay. Well, there he is. And he's censored. It was the only image that I had. And I forget how much of this whip people have seen on stream. So the little like cream colored blob is eventually going to be the water. I'm not sure if that's exactly where the water line is going to stay. I'm not sure how much of it is going to be in the background, but we'll get to that. I don't draw backgrounds a whole lot, so I'm out of practice, so we can hopefully make some progress here. I am going to just make it a little see-through so I can kind of see what I'm doing. The little head doesn't get see-through. The little head is on the front there. Listen, I don't want my my channel to get a strike. I don't know how it works on YouTube, honestly. So the main thing that I want is there's going to be some height to this because there's going to be again, I'm not really sure how far back it's going to kind of extend behind it. It's a fairly large-ish hot spring. I don't know. It's probably gonna extend more like probably to something about that. His depth is gonna stay the same, so the water isn't coming up. It's just that your eye is seeing that far back, if that makes sense. Rain again. Hello, made it to another stream. How's everyone doing? Welcome in. It's so good to see you. I'm so glad you could make it. I'll work on the like the scale and the depth and all of that later to make it feel like it all fits together, but for now I just want to kind of get the shapes in. Kind of decide what I want to do. Let's see. Ooh, the muscle. Here, I'll make him not completely transparent. I just have him transparent so I can doodle in the background. My Procreate brushes need upgrading. Man, I still have not forgiven Wacom for screwing over all of my brushes and everything with that tablet update. That gave me a heart attack. Dia, how did you learn anatomy? So most of my anatomy practice came from when I was relatively young, probably, I don't know, between like fourth grade, fifth grade-ish, and probably all the way through most of high school, probably from like fifth grade to like my sophomore year, give or take. I was in traditional art classes, so I like 2 times a week or whatever it was after school, I went to the art studio and we did a bunch of practice with like the traditional stuff, right? Like so charcoal, and graphite, and pastels, and paints, and all of that. And a fair amount of that would have like a live model that we would do gesture drawing and anatomy and stuff with. So that was the first thing that I had to kind of get me into learning some anatomy in the human body and so on. But then the other thing that was very, very helpful sometime in there, probably when I was in about middle school. I wonder if I can find the book. I was gifted a book. I wonder if I can find it. Uh, it was a book about. It was a book that focused on drawing the clothed figure rather than the nude figure, because typically when you're drawing, like in an art studio, you are drawing a nude figure, um, and you're focusing on the anatomy underneath, versus someone who's like a normal person who would be wearing clothing. Let me see if I can find this book. There we go. Okay, yes, this is the book that I used. And I'm sure you could find it other places. It says it's available at like Walmart and Target and all that, but I just have the Penguin Random House link. And this book is Drawing People: How to Portray the Clothed Figure by Barbara Bradley. I will put this in the stream chat. And again, it has links to like where you might be able to find it cheaper or find it secondhand. Uh, but basically, this book obviously it gets into drawing clothing on the figure, but this also has a lot of really helpful anatomy tips in it in terms of um, like I think for example in the Discord I was talking about how like your elbow or like a person that you're drawing their elbow basically falls right at about their natural waist. And it goes further into things like your fingertips, usually rest at like the middle of your thigh, and so on and so forth. So it has really helpful stuff like that. And it'll also give you tips, some things that, and this is all purely from memory. I have the book here somewhere, but purely from memory. Like it has a lot of little tips in there that I think are very, very helpful. Things like if you are struggling with a particular area of the human body, like if you always make the legs too short, start overcompensating by making the legs too long, and eventually you will find the right balance. So 10 out of 10, great book, highly recommend. Um, it's not the sole thing that I use to practice anatomy, but it is very, very helpful. I would definitely recommend it. Thank you, you're welcome. Luckily they're all here, otherwise I would lose almost 5 years of work. Oh my goodness. Horrible. Terrible. I'm glad it's all still there for you. Okay, we're gonna make him transparent again so we can get back to this. Let's see, where did my reference go? is. Okay. It's naturally kind of all around the edge of this hot spring. There's gonna be rocks. Lots of rocks. So just doodle in the vague concept of rocks. Trying to see if I can buy the book secondhand. If you've not done this before, if you go to Amazon, I forget. I would have to go through and walk through it. But you should be able to buy used, and those sellers, it might be a return from Amazon, but most likely you can find like a secondhand bookstore or like a thrift store, or something like that, and they usually do have it cheaper. That's how I get a lot of my books, like that Sleeping Beauty children's book that I kind of showed you guys a while ago. Um, that I found on Amazon, and it was a secondhand bookstore. As long as you click through and you find uh, I forgot my words. As long as you click on the, I'm gonna have to pull it up because I don't remember the wording that it gives you. Let me just click on like a random book here. So if you're on Amazon, you have the book pulled up, it'll give you in like the top right corner, like Kindle, audiobook, hardcover, paperback, yada yada yada. And then just beneath that, there's going to be like other, used, or new, from, and it'll give you some sort of price. And if you click that drop down, it'll start listing some stuff like mass market paperback, or whatever formats that book comes in. And if you click on one of those, it'll bring up listings, and it'll tell you, like for example, I pulled up a random book that I have in my wish list, and it'll tell you like the condition of the book. This one, instead of it being, let's see, instead of it being $20, it's instead $11, and it says, warning, the spine has shows of wear, there may be notes or highlighting on the pages, and it comes from a thrift store in Phoenix, Arizona. So that's something that I recommend. You can still find that stuff on Amazon. You just have to know to click through that and look for it. I found books there for like $3. Only giving you the Kindle edition on Amazon. Ah, dang it. What's that? There's like thriftbooks.com is another option. I found a couple of books from them. Let's see. Okay, so here we go. So on Thrift Books, Drawing People, How to Portray the Clothed Figure by Barbara Bradley. They have books starting at $8.79. I'll put that in the chat for you too. I've gotten a couple books from Thrift Books before as well, so obviously I can't speak for every single book that they have there, but I've used that service before and I did get my book. It's not a scam. So it's another option there for you. Do you think the rocks will be able to hide this sculpture? Vante, I forget how far you've read. well, mostly I forget what order I put things in. But it makes me think of when Ufa runs into, well, Cyril, but Ephraim. She runs into him. She's like, "What the hell are you made of? Are you made of lead?" It's like, well, he's made of, could be made of stone. Thank you. You're welcome. Yeah, I definitely look at thrift books. That's pretty much one of the only other places that I'll go to look for books that are slightly cheaper, other than like actual like physical bookstores where I am, obviously. But trying to find like an obscure book online, that's a good place to look. And then again, depending on the formats available on Amazon, you can also always dig through their cheaper options. They don't make it super obvious that you can you can find them because they want you to buy the new ones, but they are there. Okay, trees work. I don't think you're gonna see too much of this tree. It's back there. I forget what kind of tree this is. It's one of the evergreens, but I don't remember what the specific tree is called, or at least what I'm thinking of. Not that you'd be able to see the stuff that's behind Cyril, but it is a needled tree, and it has like droopy kind of branches. There will be like needles all over the ground over here, and there's going to be grasses and ground covers and all that. I remember that scene in some of my recent 5 chapters. I love the mental image of her just bouncing off of him. Your next 5 chapters are coming too, I promise. I know I've been really slow because I haven't been feeling well. But your next 5 chapters are coming. I am working on them. You'll probably, I'm not making any promises, but you'll probably get more than 5 chapters with your next batch. There's no pressure to go through all of it if it's too much, but just letting you know. Because I'm going insane with this project right now. My goodness. It got way too long, and I don't know what I'm gonna do with it now. I think that'll work. And the water isn't actually this like white color, if that wasn't obvious. I'm just doing that right now so that there's a lot of contrast so I can see where I have it colored in. Cyril is already colored. I'm gonna adjust his colors, but he's already colored in just because I was having fun with that. But normally I'd go through and do everything in grayscale first, and then I'll go in and to do colors later. So imagine the water is just grayscale right now because I need to be able to see where it is. Started drawing on your book. Please don't kill me. It's your copy of the book. You can do whatever you want with it. One of my friends is reading Immolation, and they haven't had a whole lot of time, but as they're going through their reading and annotating it, which I really enjoy. I always like seeing people's notes as they go through and read. It's really fun. Yeah, I'm glad you're excited. You haven't noticed I haven't finished proofreading all my assigned chapters. Don't worry, there's no pressure at all. Just getting outside thoughts is super, super helpful. I had those two, three other beta readers, and they all, nope, just didn't work out. Two of them wanted to do manuscript swaps, and because of work and taking classes and just how busy I am and how poorly I felt in addition to it, I couldn't take on doing two manuscript swaps, especially because, and I mean this in the nicest way possible, the feedback that I was getting from them wasn't really helpful, unfortunately. I think I don't know if I told you this, if I mentioned it on a stream or anything like that, but I specifically told I'm speaking of one of the other beta readers specifically. I specifically told this person the word count is very bloated and I need to cut it down. So please tell me what parts you get bored at or what you think isn't important, so that I can start whittling the word count down and cutting scenes out. And despite me telling them that multiple times, they said, you need to slow down and add more lore. I'm like, that's the opposite of what I want to do, because that's going to make the word count go up. And that particular project isn't a lore-heavy work. That's not what it's for. So it became them just kind of saying the same thing over and over again. Slow down, add more lore, explain things. And I was like, I can't repeat, I can only repeat myself so many times. Especially, and I run into this with people who read my work in general. Both with like Immolation and this different project that I'm working on, where people want the lore explained to them right away, and that is not my writing style. My writing style is to slowly present information over the course of the entire book, and slowly the pieces add up together and you get a fuller picture as you keep reading. That's just what I personally enjoy reading, so that's how I write. I know it's not for everybody, it's not to say that it needs to be for everybody, But when people try to tell me to change that, I'm like, well, that's part of how I write. So that isn't something that I'm looking to change. Um, I don't know. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the problem, but it's how I write. So when that's like one of the only things they can give me feedback on, I'm like, I guess my writing just isn't for you. So I appreciate the time, but it's not going to work if that's the only thing you're going to tell me to do. Because I try to avoid, in general, I try to avoid just dumping information on the reader like all at once at the beginning. Like I don't want it to feel like you have to study to take an exam on the lore. Because it's tough to have, like a big cast of characters, a lot of moving parts. That's hard enough for the reader to keep up with. And I prefer to have the story present itself naturally. But I don't know. Just different methods of storytelling. No one method is for everybody. Work sucks. I'll get back to them this week, though. I want to so badly. Thank you very much, Fonte. I really do appreciate it. It means more than you know. And I agree, work does suck. This is a personal preference of mine, but I hate when I'm reading a book and the first line opens with an explanation of lore. It happens so often in manga too. Yeah, I haven't read any manga, however you say it, in a long time. I used to read a lot of it. Well, not a lot, but I used to read it more than I do now. And yeah, it's both in novels and in manga. It drives me nuts. My headphones as loud as they can. Battery. Oh god, that's the worst. Yeah, my headset was beeping at me earlier. I thought I charged it. It's just this awful beep, and it's super loud no matter what the volume setting on the headset currently is. Terrible. 0 out of 10 design. Only slightly related. I love when authors include drawing of a map. I love staring at it every time I open a book. However, I will not remember a single thing on this map. I would love to have a map for Immolation. I considered doing one for Immolation, but it was too expensive to get one made. But what I would eventually like to do, maybe once all 3 books are complete or something, I'm not really sure, is I want to commission an artist to make a nice map for Immolation. And then I want to have it, 1, printed in the front of the book so people can look at it. But 2, I want to have it available as like a print that people can buy to like put up on their wall. And mostly that's because I want to put a print of it up on my wall. I want it. That's going to be really, really expensive. Not just because commissioning an artist is expensive, but in order to do that, I have to pay for commercial rights, which usually is at least a 100% markup, but usually it's closer to 250%. So it's very expensive to get commercial rights, which is why I didn't do a map with book 1. But maybe eventually I can always go back and add that as like a second edition of the book that has the map and so on and so forth. So perhaps one day if I can afford it, it'll be lovely if it does happen. I love writing, but my stories are too dark. You can still write your stories. You can write stuff and not publish it if you're not comfortable publishing. It's totally fine. And I mean, you're saying this to someone who writes dark fantasy. Like, my stuff isn't grimdark, but it is still dark fantasy. Volume 2 is also probably going to be darker than Volume 1. you will be able to see through a little bit of the water. Not too much, because we can't be showing too much of Cyril through the water, but enough so that you can tell the rocks keep going beneath the water. Map, I know it's I'm torn on what kind of map I would do, because I'd love to do a map of the city, right, Windermere, because there are a lot of locations within Windermere itself where it would be helpful to know, where you are, or, well, for some readers, it would be, would be happy to know. See, this is the other thing I want you guys to know. And I feel like I have a better grasp of it now, but when I was starting development on Immolation, and I was doing a bunch of research, because I considered briefly whether or not I would pitch Immolation to a traditional publisher and try to have it traditionally published. I ended up deciding against that, just because weighing the pros and cons, I didn't think that it would be worthwhile. But as I was making that decision and going over to self-publishing, I had to start doing a bunch of research into, when you're self-publishing, you make all the decisions yourself, versus when you traditionally publish, the publisher makes pretty much all those decisions, and you just get paid, and you go along with it, and you have a smile on your face. So because I was now responsible for all the decisions, I had to go through every single thing and figure out how I was going to do certain things. And part of that meant I had to decide, was I going to include a map or not? And let me tell you, the heated debates that rage over having a map or not, people, I would go through and I would join Discords, and I made accounts on different forums, I'd go into subreddits, I'd go anywhere I could to try and find places where people were talking about self-publishing and talking about reading self-published works. And the amount of people that I saw saying, if I open a book and there's a map in the front, I put that book down. I don't give a damn what it's about. I'm not reading a book with a map in the front. I was like, Jesus Christ. I didn't realize that there were such heated opinions on maps in the front of books. I love having a map in the front of a book. I love that. But I had to suddenly start weighing all these different opinions of, oh gosh, are people going to refuse to read Immolation if there's a map in the front? And is that a risk I'm willing to take? Especially because I would have to invest probably over $1,000 to get a map made. Do I want to risk doing that? And there was a bunch of stuff like that, right? With all sorts of things of like people saying, if X or Y is present in the book, I'm going to put it down immediately because I refuse to read that, or whatever. All that to say, it made me really overthink including certain things in the book, like having a map in the book or having a prologue. People chewed me out. I got so much crap for having a prologue, let me tell you. Oh my god. Third person omniscient, the point of view that the story is told in. People hate that too. So I really, and again, now that I have finished the first book, it's been published, I've been getting some reviews, I have other opinions coming in, I have a much clearer idea of what I would like to do with it. When you're out there, drowning in this ocean of trying to figure out what self-publishing is going to mean for you and your particular project, it's really hard to see what's going to be the right decision for your work. And I knew that going in, and I knew that it was going to be a learning experience, and there's nothing wrong with that. But now that I've kind of waded through all of that and weathered it, I have a clearer idea of what I'd like to do. And yes, I can say now that that includes a map. I'm broke, so I can't afford a map right now, but eventually I would like to. I would like to get a map, but having professional editing, or at least some level of editing that is not self-editing on Immolation is really important to me. So that will always come first before having a map made. I would rather the written material be as polished and professional as possible um, than have a map. Unfortunately, because that's what it comes down to. Because each of those things cost over $1,000 each one, and I only have so much money. I may have gotten a promotion, but I didn't get that big of a promotion. I feel like I'd be able to pass tests on your book's lore. It sticks to me so well. Well, I'm very happy to hear that. There's gonna be lots more lore in volume 2. So you'll get a whole new barrel of lore to get all stuck with. People have heated opinions on everything nowadays. Some people get way too heated about books. Yeah, I was really shocked in a way to because I'm so chill when it comes to books. Um, if I don't like something, I don't like something, so I just don't read it. That's about as far as it goes for me. But it just, and like for example, I don't personally prefer um, first person narration. It's just not for me. It's not really my thing. And that's where the thought ends for me. Um, that's it. I just it's not more complicated or more heated than that. That's just the way that it is. But the way that like the vitriol that I got for having the third person omniscient was actually insane. And I'm like, I don't understand why people are so vitriolic about the POV. I'm like, if you don't like it, that's fine, then don't read it. But people would just say all sorts of nasty things about it, and it really took me by surprise because I had never interacted with books that way. And then I come into this space as an author, or at that time a writer who's hoping to self-publish, and suddenly there's all these opinions that I didn't even know existed or care about. And now suddenly you kind of have to care about them because however you publish is putting out your decision, quote unquote, on these things. So you're now placing yourself in either one camp or the other, which is just so dumb. I am a tired, grumpy old man, and I don't have time for that kind of stuff. I have real problems. I don't care about the POV of a book or whether it has a prologue. I'm working on a visual novel, and the majority of them are first person, and I hate writing first person. I'm nervous people won't be too pleased with my work, so I get it. It's super intimidating, but good on you for pushing through. It's tough. It's really tough, but good on you for pushing through. I'm wishing you all the luck with that project. I've gained the very sudden and intense urge to play my lyre again. You should do it. Do it. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. Do you have a picture of your lyre? I would like to see it. Right? I hate arguments. What's the point? Losing energy over nothing. It's possible to just avoid it. Yeah, it was so weird. And when you're a self-published author, more so than when you are traditionally published, marketing yourself and like networking with other authors really matters. So now suddenly your opinion on things like the POV and a prologue and so on are not tools, that's not really the right word, but they are things that may help you get into a particular clique or group of other authors that's willing to support your work. Or on the other end of it, it might mean that you get pushed out of groups because your opinion doesn't adhere to the group's opinion on, you know, pick your poison, whatever it might be. So I found that to be very difficult and disheartening because again, I'm the sort of person who I don't care. I don't care if your work is a particular POV. If I don't like it, then it's not for me, and that's where it ends. I'm not going to tell a writer, an author, whatever, whichever they might be, I'm not going to tell them I don't like your POV, so therefore your writing is trash. Like I'm not going to say that. That's such a cruel and unnecessary thing to say. But there's a lot of that in the self-publishing space, for lack of a better word. Uh, and I bumped into a lot of it, and it's so I don't understand how people can spend their time doing that. Isn't it exhausting? Doesn't it just drain your soul? I don't know. Maybe I'm old and old-fashioned. I don't know. Maybe I'm the problem. I'm the problem. It's me. I'm writing a small story for my fan art. I hope you have fun. That's great. Peopling is horrible. It really is. I like to consider myself someone who is reasonably easy to get along with. I try to be personable. I make an effort to do so. Oh, heaven, that is beautiful. What a lovely instrument. Yes, I'm all in favor. Please pick it up again. I'd love to hear about your progress. If I had the space, I would absolutely pick up piano again. That's an instrument that I'd pick up again. I'd get like a small like electronic keyboard so I can have like a headset on. That way I'm not making a lot of noise. But unfortunately, I do not have space for that. But one day, maybe, if I ever have time, I would like to pick that up again and start learning again. I played it um, very sparingly, kind of in middle school, give or take. I'm sorry, I just punched my microphone. Lily Walter, hello, welcome in. Glad you could make it. How are you doing today? I agree. Yeah, I don't know. I try really hard to be a personable, as I said. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I find it really exhausting. And the thing is, I'm very old-fashioned in the sense, if I how do I say this? Because I don't mean this as an insult to other authors, because that's definitely not what I'm trying to say. Because when you're a self-published author, marketing yourself and networking with other people is important. If you want to have your work out there, you have to network with other people. That's just the way that it is. That's totally fine. But when I'm not good at transactional relationships. That's really what it boils down to. I'm very old-fashioned. I don't like transactional relationships. If I am going to have a relationship with someone, I want it to be a genuine and authentic relationship that is built on some sort of mutual respect and interest in our material, right? So if I'm friends or interacting, it doesn't even have to be friends, just if I'm interacting with someone, I want there to be a level of authenticity in that interaction that you will not necessarily find in interactions where the point of that interaction is to network in order to sell books. It's just a different dynamic, and I'm very old fashioned to the point that it is a detriment to myself, where it's just not the way that my brain works. I don't find the only place that I have transactional relationships is at work because I am getting paid to tolerate transactional relationships. And again, if you're someone who is getting into self-publishing and you're going to treat um, self-publishing as a business, then yes, by all means, it makes sense for you to have transactional relationships and network in that way. That makes perfect, total sense. I am not trying to treat self-publishing like a business. I have a job that pays my bills. I want to keep, because I've toed that line before, of where your hobby and your passion and your artwork becomes a job. And that can very quickly, for me, it's different for everyone. For me, that can very quickly sap all the joy and satisfaction that I get out of my art because it has now become work, and because now there is a certain level of pressure and guilt and frustration attached to it because it is now a product that I have to produce. So I try really hard to keep those things separate. It's really important to me. And the consequence of that is I'm really bad at fake friendships. I'm sorry, I want my friendships to be genuine. If someone is interacting with me about my work, I want it to be because they genuinely enjoy it, not because they think they're going to benefit in some way by being able to shill their work to my audience, or vice versa, or whatever it is. I want it, again, to be a genuine connection. And I know that's old fashioned, and I know that's not the way the internet works anymore, but that's how my brain works. That was a very long winded answer to that topic. Cynthia, good morning. How are you doing today? How are you feeling? You said you had a little bit of a headache. Has that broken? I forgot to add some parts to this log. Hold on. I'm doing much better. My head still isn't happy with the weather, and is an ignorable level. Well, I hope it entirely goes away. What kind of weather are you having there? Is it because of the pressure? Let's see. I think the next thing I need to do is layer more of this tree to start creating some depth. So this is going to be a little bit harder to do in grayscale, but that's okay. My short story is written from the point of view of the Brontes. The Brontes? There's more than one? I sent you a random video. I will have to look later. My phone, I don't actually know where my phone is, but I'm pretty sure it's dead because it's supposed to be charging in the other room. This melody used to be my alarm clock, did it? I need a new alarm clock sound because right now I have like this just kind of generic copyright-free classical music that plays as my alarm. And I realized the other day that I was just kind of laying in bed and letting it play because it's like classical music, so it doesn't sound bad. And then I realized I'm like, oh shit, that's my alarm. I need to get up. So I need to pick up a different alarm, one that is less pleasant to listen to, so I don't just lay there and veg out. Defeats the purpose of an alarm. Do you self-publish or do you use a traditional publisher? Jesse, welcome in. I am self-published. I considered pitching Immolation to a traditional publisher, but I decided to self-publish at least this particular project. Maybe in the future I'll consider pitching for traditional publication, but for the time being, I am self-publishing. All of Immolation, the series, will be self-published. After a while, I inevitably start to hate all of my alarm clock sounds. Oh no, not the Phantom of the Opera. No, you can't do that to my boy. Only works half the time. When it does, I'm jump scared awake. I mean, I think that is the most accurate reaction, the most appropriate reaction, excuse me, to Phantom of the Opera. I am going to attempt, I don't know if I'll succeed, but I'm going to attempt to get tickets to Phantom of the Opera for summer of next year. It's going to be a gift to my mom for her birthday, which is in December. I'm hoping that the tickets go on sale by that time. Um, don't know if I'll manage to get the tickets or if they'll be available by then. And we all know it's actually a gift to me because I want to go see it. But my mom and I are like the two people in our family who enjoy musicals and like to go seeing shows and all that kind of stuff. So we've gone together to see Hamilton and Beauty and the Beast and like a couple of others. So we will be, hopefully, fingers crossed, if I can get tickets, going to see Phantom of the Opera next year. Are you going to make a graphic novel for the series as well? I have the first book, and I liked it. Well, thank you very much for picking up the first book. I'm really glad you liked it. I don't know that I would have it in me to do a graphic novel on top of everything else. I'm probably going to keep the visual work for Immolation relatively constrained to the animatics. I have a series of animatics that are going to come out kind of in tandem with the books themselves, and that's mostly going to be the visual work for Immolation. So not its own graphic novel. I don't know if I really have it in me to do that, but animatics, yes. So there will be more visual work. Take me with you. I will smuggle you in my coat. Doesn't matter if it starts soft, any abrupt sound scares me awake. Oh man. I'm a really, really heavy sleeper. So what typically happens for me is I will be asleep and I will hear the noise of my alarm, which again is that like classical music is the one that I have right now. I will hear it and I'll go, it sounds like music. And I'll keep sleeping. And then eventually my brain will go, hey, that music is your alarm and it's been going off for 10 minutes. And then I'll be like, oh my gosh, and I'll wake up. Amazing. I'm extremely jealous. I'm really fingers crossed hoping that I can get the tickets. Because the other thing is that my mom has this thing where she always complains to the point that it's basically like a running joke in our family. My mom always complains that nobody ever surprises her for either Christmas gifts or birthday gifts. Her birthday is in December, so she gets them relatively close together. She always complains that nobody ever gives her anything that surprises her. And usually that's because gifts from my dad, she just finds them because they're a married couple. They have they share an Amazon account and all this. So rolling around November, she starts souping around for anything that my dad bought, and she's like, I found that he bought me like new towels or like a bathrobe or whatever. And she's like, so now I'm not going to be surprised. I'm like, well, yeah, you're not going to be surprised because you went snooping to figure out what your gift was going to be. So that's not his fault. He didn't surprise you because you went snooping. But I've made it my goal to get her gifts that will actually surprise her, because most of our gifts tend to be relatively predictable because my mom has I mean this in the nicest way, my mom has very predictable tastes. She wants like bathrobes, bath towels, new sheets, coffee cups, just standard stuff, right? It's not super personal. It's just stuff that she wants. So yeah, I'm hoping. I've only surprised her once so far in the various Christmas gifts that I've gotten her, which is I'm gonna have to try to describe these. So my grandmother had on her tree. So normal Christmas lights that go on a tree, right? Usually, that's too small. So nope, too small. So usually there's this wire, right? And then there will be like a little node, like so. And then there will be a little light bulb, kind of like that. And it's quite small, right? And then that's like the usual standard Christmas tree light. So you have like a whole wire of these, and you wrap them around the tree. Well, my grandmother had these, we call them bubble lights. I don't know if there is a different term for them or if that's what they're officially called. We just call them bubble lights. Where instead of it being this kind of standard shape, they're much bigger, first of all. But so you have like your, oh my goodness, you have your wire. Nope. Okay, that's your wire. And then you have your little node where the light is attached, and it has this kind of like cup shape, like this. And then it has a kind of tall light bulb that is shaped like a little candle. And the light bulb is down here. So this is the part that actually lights up. And then there's fluid. I think it is just water, but it could be something else. But there's liquid in here. Again, I think it's water. And basically, as this bulb heats up over time, bubbles start to form. And the water in here basically bubbles. So I call them bubble lights. They're a particular kind of Christmas light. And my grandma used to have these on her tree. And my mom had always kind of taught, my grandma's tree was always spectacular. Her Christmas tree was always amazing. And part of it was these bubble lights. So a few years ago, I think it was like 3 years ago, I went out and I found some of these bubble lights and I got them from my mom and I proved to her, I'm like, see, I surprised you with something that you actually like and you didn't expect, and I have worn that as a badge of honor ever since. But it's been a few years, so I need to maintain my title and get her something that's gonna surprise her. I've never seen such lights. Okay, really, I wonder if I can just, I mean, I could have done this from the beginning. Let's see. Bubble lights for Christmas tree. Sometimes they have glitter in them, but I don't think they always do. Here we go. So yeah, you can see my drawing was pretty close. But yeah, they're like little candle-shaped lights, or glass bowls, basically. And then the actual light bulb is underneath, and as it heats up, it causes the bubble, well, it causes the liquid to bubble, and if there's glitter inside, it kind of tosses the glitter around. They're obviously supposed to be like pretend candles, but they don't really look like candles, but they're very cute. But yeah, they're very cute, and I got her some nice kind of like champagne gold colored ones like that. My grandma had like multicolored ones, um, but I got my mom like some little champagne ones that were very, very cute. So she really liked those. They were very nostalgic because obviously my grandma had them on her tree. So I figured that they would be a nice gift, and she liked them, and she was surprised, and I wear that like a badge of honor. Also, hello, Otter. Welcome in. How are you feeling today? I like your drawing more. They're so whimsical. They're so cute. I mean, obviously, I'm very biased because my grandma had them on her tree. Um, and when we were little kids, my sister and I, Christmas was always held at my grandmother's house. So, very much like very precious, nostalgic children memories there. But yeah, they were very, very cute. I was very happy to find them because I didn't know if they still existed because they were my grandma's. So I'm like, these might not these might not be a thing anymore. But yes, they're very, very cute. I'm very happy with them. And hopefully I will outdo that gift with Phantom of the Opera tickets if I can manage it. We'll see. All right. And back to My eye is sore, but I'm all right. You? I'm feeling all right. I feel better now that I've had my coffee. For the past like 2 weeks, I was telling people earlier. For the past 2 weeks, I've been feeling really not good. Um, just feeling very. I've had a headache that won't ever go away. That lasted for a really long time. Uh, Feeling really exhausted. Like no matter how much I sleep, I just don't feel any better. My body is aching. All that kind of stuff. And I'm finally feeling a little bit better today. I know I don't exactly sound better, but I promise I am feeling better. Um, but yeah, I'm hoping that I can get back to feeling better because I'm very behind on all of my creative endeavors, and it's really, really frustrating me. Um, so we'll see. I'm gonna try to do as much as I can today after stream. Let's. Where did my reference go? I think I googled the Christmas lights on the page where I had my references pulled up. Hold on. That is something I would like to add if I can. I don't want to put it there because it's going to get lost in his hair. Let's put it over here. Oop, wrong brush. Gifting her light, you're switching out tiny candelabras for huge falling ones. It's true. I hope she'll enjoy it. I hope I can get the tickets first of all. And again, it's more a gift for me secretly because I really want to go see it. And if I give it the gift to her, if I give the tickets to her, I know she'll drive. She'll do the driving, which saves me the several hours of driving that I'd have to do to go see it. So, but yes, in all seriousness, my mom and I are the two in our family who like going to like musicals and that sort of stuff. So I think it'll be fun and hopefully she'll enjoy it. And again, hopefully I can just actually get the tickets. my landlord is doing some sort of maintenance in her yard, because I can hear something. I wonder what they're up to. Spending quality time together is a wonderful gift. It is. It's a very important thing to do with those you love. Do you guys believe in love at first sight? No. Infatuation, maybe. But not love. Unless it's in, like, fiction. In which case, yeah, sure, go for it. But you do believe in love at first sight. My mind says no, but my heart says yes. Asks you to notify me that you've gone live. It's not bad, YouTube. Masu, it is so good to see you. How are you? I have no idea what my landlord's doing. They're doing some sort of construction out there because I can hear power tools, but whatever they're working on, they're having they're having a wonderful time because they're all giggling and laughing. I wonder what they're up to. She must have like family over helping her with some sort of project because they're all just like having a good time out there. Actually, instead of that, and this will eventually be some nice ivy that is growing on this tree, because I think that would look pretty. I am surviving while my PC is getting fixed. Oh man. Means I finally get to catch one of your lives. I'll take that. Well, thank you so much. I'm so glad you could make it. I watched a movie about it and thought that's fairy tales, but I love fairy tales. Yeah, in film and in fiction, I'm a big fan. I think I can get behind the whimsy of a good old love at first sight, but in real life, don't know about that. Let's see. I don't know if we'll really see very much of what's further back, but I guess I can add something in. It's just the vague concept of some trees. Because this hot spring is out. Well, it's not in the middle of the woods, but it's, in the woods-ish. Actually, what I think I might do, let's take this. I know it's a lot of layers, Sai, but don't crash on me now. There we go, just to kind of give an idea of what we can kind of see through the water. Love is too complex for me, I'll stick with cat videos. A man after my own heart. I'm too old and grumpy to believe in love at first sight. Yep, that's me. I've only ever experienced curiosity at first sight, but I'm introverted, so it never grew into anything. Yep, pretty much. There might be curiosity, but I don't know. Love is a complicated thing. I don't think you can really love someone until you actually know them. You can be infatuated, or you can have like a crush, I guess, if that's still a term that people use. But love is different, in my mind. But again, we've already established I'm very old-fashioned. Alright, I've got like an extra layer in there that I'm gonna have to sort out. I'll worry about it later. ignore the censorship emoji. I think that mostly works. I want to be careful that his head doesn't get like lost against that log that's fallen in the background, so I'll probably make that a little bit lighter. But I think it captures what I'm going for. A hot spring that's kind of out in the, again, not out in the middle of the woods, but it is in the woods. It's still very close to the village, I guess you would call it. Settlement. Monte hasn't read this far in this work in progress yet to get to this scene, but it's coming up, technically. Oh, it looks like I didn't come up quite high enough there, so I did my sketch idea. Let's see if I can fix that. I think it's doing a good job of giving the vibes that I'm going for, though. Actually, yeah, because I'll have to want to. I have to want to. Goodness, Dia, English. I'm gonna head off now. Have a great rest of your stream. Thank you so much for stopping by, Heaven. I hope you had a good time. Thank you for being here. Hopefully, I will see you next time. He's suddenly a mountain man. Are we making the cover art for the Cyril 18+ art? I think Cyril might manifest kill me if I sold him like that. Would it be worth it? Maybe. To kind of give you guys an idea, whoops, no, zoom back in please, thank you. To kind of give you an idea, I'm not super sure. Like right now, Cyril's colors and lighting are just like placeholder. Because the lighting on this I want to be, well, first of all, this takes place at night, this scene. So the lighting is going to be cooler and a little bit darker. He's very warm kind of color palette right now. But I'll adjust it later, obviously. But I wonder if I can do like a vague overlay to kind of show you what I hope to do for some of the colors. And I've broken the water, quote unquote. You can't see me, but I'm making air quotes with my hands. I've broken down the water into multiple layers because of it needs to both be part of the background and also needs to be in front of Cyril. So you can kind of see a little bit of the difference there. Let's see here. That's the one. Okay, that's the one that comes all the way up. Right. Okay, so what I think I need to do. I might not have high enough opacity on these darker layers to make this work, but oh, okay, no, it's not that bad. What is... There's another one hidden somewhere. Cyril, what do I do? Is it in the folder? of like the rest of your body. Is that why? I don't know where that layer is. I'm gonna have to find it. So you're telling me that scene is in the future chapters? Yes, this scene is in the future chapters. You haven't read quite far enough, but you're getting closer. I'm not used to having autocorrect on my keyboard. Don't zoom in. Why not? Why not? Why shouldn't we? Bronte's a lucky girl. Well, sort of. Yeah, I don't know where I put that one layer with the water. I don't know. It's gonna be weird. I'll have to find it. Like I said, I try to, what's the word? I try to organize my layers and my canvases before I start streaming, so I don't have to spend time looking for, like, where did I put a certain layer? But obviously I did not do that. Zoom, enhance. I wonder, I think I have it toggled off right now, but you can see where I started adding, yeah, here we go. You can see where I started adding, like, the water drops, because he's in the water, so he's got a bunch of water on him, so eventually we'll add the water droplets back in. I only started them, so they're going to be all over, though, eventually. Oh, and I, just so you know, this little guy with the wine glass, that layer is named in my file. It's named Nothing to See Here. There's nothing to see here. He's learned chat, not everything is on the same layer. I remember when you draw everything on one layer. I don't want to talk about my layers. My layers and I have a complicated relationship. Okay, so I think I can put this here. I actually don't know if this is gonna work. I'm just gonna do like a blue for now, bluish. Edit canceled. Not enough memory. Oh my god. Okay. Well, I guess I have too many layers. I can also close this. I don't need this anymore. Gosh, what can I get rid of? Okay, there we go. It let me do that. Oh, okay, you can see that I've got that. I don't know where that layer is. It's driving me nuts. Okay, anyways. It must be in Cyril's layer somewhere. Either way, this doesn't work because I need this to be over everything. Oh, but yeah, it's gonna... I'll just do this for now. Because the general idea is that, to give you an idea, it's gonna have like kind of this dark lighting. Hits you with no, please. If you hit me with all my layers, I'll be beaten to death. Grimace. Yeah, we were talking about the Christmas lights that I bought for my mom. But this is to give you a general idea of the color palette I'm going to be going for, because it's nighttime, so I'm hoping to have like some nice blue, purple, kind of dark lighting, and then hopefully I'll be able to add in some like really warm yellows with, like for example, I'm just going to sketch these in really roughly. But for example, I'll put like some little lanterns over here, and then like we'll maybe have like some fireflies, and those are the worst fireflies I've ever drawn, but you get the idea. So it'll be like a really nice kind of cool purple blue for like the evening time, and then we'll have some really nice warm yellows, both with like the lanterns and the fireflies, and those colors, the golds and the yellows, will be reflected on the water. I think that would be very pretty. I think that would look very nice. I don't know if I will do a matching version of this with Angelique, because yes, I wonder if Angelique is around. Yes, she sure is. Because in this scene, the two of them are together in this scene, and I thought it would be nice to have a version of her also in the hot spring. I don't think the way that I've posed him, I could really add her to this. Maybe I could. I don't know. Because the idea of this picture is that he's looking at her. He's looking at Angelique. So it wouldn't really make sense to have her in this particular picture with him, because I originally had the idea of this is him looking at her in that scene. But I don't know. She could be like... standing there. Give her some little movies. With a little censored leaf. Oh, sorry, excuse me. She has long hair. My bad. I don't know, because it doesn't make sense that she would be necessarily in this picture, because he's supposed to be looking at her. But maybe I can just, like, remove him and then, like, just do a little... there. I'm nice to my characters from on YouTube, Angelique, for free. Angelique, insert yourself to your character. Oh god, I sure hope you know what you're getting into. So we'll see. Maybe I will add her. I probably won't, because again, this picture was drawn in the, at least for me, the mental context of he's looking at her. So maybe I'll do another version that is her, kind of in the hot spring, because I think it'd be cute to draw her. But we'll see. Either way, I'm pretty happy with the background. I think it captures what I wanted. There's going to be more plant life in the background. So like up here, you can kind of see that I did. It's going to be like... grass growing up here. There's going to be like fallen leaves and clover and, all that kind of pretty stuff. Okay, look, with your original doodle, I was like, you go here. Here, like, let's see. It's like a person that I'm trying to put like their little foot out there. Does she smile like that? It doesn't seem like her vibe at all. God, no. Cyril's gonna kill me. Uh, just yeah, exactly like that. For the low, low price of $3,000, I will draw you in this pose with Cyril. Yeah, I don't know why this block is here. I've been trying to. So it's not in the layer with him. It's somewhere else. Is it this? No. Where is it? How have I misplaced this entire layer? There it is. Jeez. Okay, well, anyway. Uh, I do like that I have drawn it in a way that implies obviously the water isn't going to be like white. The water is just normal water color. Um, there's nothing special about the water other than the fact that it's salt water, but because the springs that are near Merrimet in the village, yada yada yada, in this particular story is that the salt water, the springs are salt water, is what I'm trying to say. Um, but the way that I've drawn it is like, yeah, the water is like, what's the word? Transparent enough that you can like kind of see the rocks and stuff through it. But when it comes to Cyril, nope, that's forbidden. You don't get to see what's underneath the water when it's Cyril. So it's clear. Listen, uh, you technically you should be able to see more than you do, but this is YouTube, so we're not gonna do that. The water is conveniently not magically not see-through where Cyril is standing. Cyril should definitely come to you in your dreams for serious talks. I'd get the lecture of a lifetime from this man. Please insert my essay. Yeah, this is your character here. I'm selling for the low, low price of $1 billion. Does Cyril really love Bronte? You're just gonna have to keep reading to find out. Uh, I guess the other option is so the way that I picture the hot spring is it's a natural hot spring. It's not man-made, um, but it's basically got rocks like as you do, but there's like different levels. So you could like sit on like a rock and be like somewhat submerged, or you could like stand upright like Cyril's standing upright, and the location in which he is standing, it comes about up to ye old dick height. um, but depending on where you are, there's different levels of rocks. So my thought was I could include well, see, I don't know if I want to do that actually. Because my thought was I could include some rocks that are like kind of coming up out of the water. And the reason that I was thinking of this is because it would give me more positions in the frame to put lanterns and such. But I don't know if I want to do that because that might give the impression that the pool is smaller than I want to imply that it is.
Because if I leave it all open like this, it implies that it's a fairly large spring, it's a fairly large pool of water, which it is. It's supposed to be. Um, so yeah, I don't know. And then obviously we'll have to add. I'll probably have to find like some sort of resource or texture for this, but it's gonna be steamy because it's a hot spring. So, but that'll be added at like the very, very end. That'll be for the Picardo After Hours stream. Have a candle or lantern in a bowl or something. That's true. I guess I could have something floating. Because Cyril, in general, like would have like walked up here with like a lantern or something. Like he would have taken some sort of light with him and then just set it aside somewhere. Um, you're seeing the far end of the. I keep wanting to say stream, but it's not. You're seeing like the far end of the hot spring because on the side that, because again, this is supposed to be from Angelique's kind of point of view, like he is looking at her, so technically the camera, quote unquote, you, the viewer, are looking like from Angelique's point of view. And so back, oh my goodness, so back that direction, well, this is way too much effort. That direction, pointing at you, the viewer, um, is where like the shallower part of the hot spring is, and also like that's where like Cyril has like set his clothes aside, like his lantern would technically be over there, but I want to have lighting over here, you know, over here, or like maybe I don't know, because this is fairly far away from him, because obviously like this log that has fallen over here, that's like behind him. He's not like ducking underneath that. It's just like in the distance behind him. So I don't know. I have to kind of think about what I want to do in terms of adding lighting or stuff like that. Um, I thought about like hanging a lantern like off of this little log in the background, which maybe would help with like a sense of depth because you don't technically really know how big the trees are because it's a fantasy novel. The trees could be really big or whatever. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I'll have to kind of think about what I want to do. It's actually just a normal pool of water, but then Cyril got in and it became a hot spring. Just under the moonlight is pretty too. It's true. I really like the idea of having like the nice, cool, um, like color for the evening, like the purple and the blue. And then I would like to have that contrasted with like some yellow and gold, both because I think it would be pretty. There's gonna be fireflies, so I mean maybe that'll be enough? Question mark. Maybe I can kind of like draw some in. And I'm not gonna do like actual bugs. I'm literally just gonna be like, ta-da! That's a firefly. So stuff like that. And then obviously they're going to be glowing. So and I'm not exactly sure what texture, for lack of a better word, I want to do on the water. There's like a hack, I guess you could call it, for drawing water. Those fireflies don't look very good, but they're just to give you a general idea. there's like a quote unquote hack for drawing water, um, but I don't know if I like it for um, this particular body of water. I don't know if it's really gonna look right. Um, the hack, quote unquote. Let me see if I can just do like a quick sketch. My stomach is grumbling so much because I'm so hungry. So I might start wrapping it up here in like 10, 15 minutes because I'm really hungry. I need to go make some lunch because I haven't had anything to eat yet today. But I will quickly kind of doodle the quote-unquote hack that I'm thinking of, if I can remember how to do it off the top of my head. This drawing could be such a wonderful illustration inside the book. Do you think so? I don't know. I'm always hesitant about including my work, like my visual art, in stuff that I write. Um, I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I guess it could also be. Yeah, I don't know. I'd also have to look into the logistics of that because I don't think you can print like a color picture in a book that you're only having printed in black and white. Like the price to print those two different things means that your entire book technically has to be printed in color, and there's limitations with like the paper and the colors you can use and so on and so forth. So I don't know if it's actually possible to have like just like one illustration included at like the back of the book or something like that. I would have to really look into that. Okay, let me think. I think the general idea. I'm gonna do it flat first, and then just kind of stretch it, maybe. I don't know. My music stopped. My music stopped. Oh, whoops. I'm overlapping with Cyril. Just move it then. There we go. He's attractive, but a red flag. Luckily, I'm colorblind. Red is my favorite color. Is that meat hack? Meat? Meat? There shouldn't be any meat. Well, there's one piece of meat, but you can't see. But no, this is like apparently like a hack for drawing water. I've seen this done a few times, but it's a very specific look and like a very specific texture, for lack of a better word. So I'm just going to do like a small example. I don't think that this is going to be the style that I use for the water. I think this is a very particular look that probably works better with like ocean, I think. But I don't know. It's one of those things where I don't really know until I try it, so might as well. Even though I don't really think it's going to be the look that I'm going for. that meat. You could always add a few illustrations. I don't know if it's too expensive. Um, I would have to look at it again. The other thing is that there's limitations in what a printer can do, especially when you're self-published. You, as a self-published author, do not get all of the options that a traditional publishing author gets. So it's much harder and much more expensive to get things like color printing, um, because you just don't have access to the same resources. I would have to look at it again because the risk is basically that it ends up being like this black and white blob because that's the limitation of the printer. Um, but also, my other kind of goal with this particular project is, as opposed to immolation, I want to spend literally $0 on this project. I don't want there to be any costs whatsoever. Um, so that's another thing I have to kind of take into consideration. Oh, the meat hack, right? Okay, yeah, that's not what that's not what I'm doing. But now I see what you're talking about. To be fair, it's better. Yeah, that one works really well for like ocean waves that are like coming up on a shore. This is supposed to be like a pool of water. Like that's like what this hack is like quote unquote supposed to be for. Again, I'm doing it from memory. It would probably look better if I like actually followed a tutorial for it. Again, I just don't know if it's the specific look that I want. And I'm doing like a very simplified version of it. But I think like basically the general idea. Oh my gosh. Again, too many layers. Sai is really chugging. It's not having a good time. Oh right, those are my angel leagues. I can delete those. They don't need to stay. Yeah, I'd have to look at the options again. There might be, and because I've not self-published in almost a year, it'll be a year in October. There might be new options now. I'm not entirely sure, uh, but we shall see. Oh my gosh, still, I'll just do it this way. Well, let me use the bucket tool. I'll just do it myself. But there, generally speaking, that's like the general look that you get by doing this hack. And you would go through and you'd make adjustments and tweaks to, excuse me, to make it look better. Like I might make the texture bigger or smaller or whatever, but that's like the general look of it. Um, it's a very specific water texture that I don't know is what I want. I'm not entirely sure. Um, but yeah, that's one way of doing it. I'll just save these. But yeah, you can make it bigger or smaller and tweak it to adjust it and so on and so forth. It kind of helps give the water a flat plane. Um, but again, there's lots of different ways of drawing water. I'm not sure I'd use that specific method. I don't know if it really gives a texture that I'm super going for. Quick, what's your favorite character from Pirates of the Caribbean? Barbossa. Barbossa is absolutely my favorite, without hesitation. Followed very closely by Masters Pintel and Rigetti. Followed thereafter by Mr. Joshua Gibbs. But definitely Barbossa. But this is probably gonna have to do it for me. I'm super hungry. I have lots of writing to work on for this particular project. So I should get back to working on that because I'm hoping I'm making no promises, but Vante, the next batch that you get should be more than 5 chapters. Because basically a lot of the material that I have, because I've mentioned this before, I don't write in chronological order. So I have a lot of material for like the end of the book, sort of, kind of. um, well, I say the end of the book, but like the climax through the end of the book. Like I know all of that and everything. I'm just kind of trying to fill in the last little bit between those two things. So we'll see. But hopefully, uh, I will be able to get you um, more than 5 chapters. Yes, go eat. I know I'm gonna go make something to eat. I promise. I'm very very hungry. Looks good, but maybe not for this. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I haven't done a whole lot of water that isn't ocean before, so I don't know. I have to kind of think about how I want to do it because I want the water to look relatively calm. I don't want it to look like it's like actively flowing around or anything because it's a hot spring, it's a pool. Um, but yes, we'll see. Working hard, thank you. Take proper care of yourself and rest well. Have a great autumn week. Thank you very, very much. Thank you everyone for coming. I hope you had a good time. I'm so glad some of you could make it. I know, Masu, you haven't been able to make it, so I really appreciate you swinging by. So thanks so much. But yeah, I hope you guys had a wonderful time. I stream every other Sunday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you can make it, I would love to have you. If you are stopping by next time, not next week, but week after, there might be a cheeky little new character reveal because the villain, well, not really villain, but yeah, kind of villain, one of the baddies from the Secret Project has a new design and some new sketches associated with him. And so maybe you guys will see a cheeky new guy pop up and you'll get to look at him. So thank you guys very, very much. I hope you have a wonderful next few weeks. Hopefully they start cooling down here. But yes, thank you very, very much. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys next time.